Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are diving deep into the rapidly evolving world of urban mobility and looking at a machine that might just make you rethink that second car sitting in your driveway. We all know the story by now. Gas prices seem to be on an endless upward climb, city streets are more congested than ever, and families across America are searching for smarter, greener, and quite frankly, more fun ways to handle their daily commutes, school runs, and grocery hauls. Enter the electric cargo bike, a segment that has absolutely exploded over the last few years. But today, we are not talking about just any run-of-the-mill e-bike. We are talking about a brand that has essentially defined the premium cargo bike space for over a decade. I am talking about Urban Arrow. Now, if you know anything about the European bike scene, or if you've been paying attention to the premium end of the market here in the States, you know that since 2011, Urban Arrow has built an incredible reputation. They have sold well over 100,000 bicycles worldwide, and until now, they have had a very specific, recognizable formula. You picture an Urban Arrow and you immediately think of that massive, bucket-style front cargo hold, the kind of bike where you can literally toss in 2 kids, a week's worth of groceries, and maybe the family dog, all sitting right there in front of the handlebars. It's a proven design, but let's be honest, it's also a massive vehicle that can be intimidating to ride and difficult to store. Well, my friends, tradition is officially taking a backseat today because Urban Arrow has just unleashed something completely different onto the US market, and it is called the Breeze. The Breeze represents a massive shift in philosophy for the Dutch brand, completely ditching their signature front-loading bucket in favor of a much sleeker, highly adaptable LongTail design. For those who might be new to the cargo bike world, a LongTail design does exactly what the name implies. It moves the rider slightly forward, closer to the front wheel, and significantly extends the rear frame to create a massive, elongated cargo deck over the rear wheel. It's a setup that feels much more like a traditional bicycle to ride, making it instantly familiar and far less intimidating for first-timers. But do not let that familiar silhouette fool you, because the Breeze is an absolute workhorse, engineered for serious heavy lifting.
When you take a close look at the rear section of this frame, you can instantly see the over-engineering that Urban Arrow is famous for. The way the frame extends toward the rear and connects to the wheel features seat and chainstays that look so incredibly beefy, you would swear they were ripped straight off a downhill mountain bike. They are thick, they are robust, and they absolutely need to be, because the Breeze boasts an astonishing maximum payload capacity of 440 pounds. That is 200 kilograms of hauling potential. We are talking about carrying a couple of growing kids, or perhaps a full-sized adult passenger, plus all your groceries, without the frame breaking a sweat. And the true beauty of this LongTail design lies in its versatility. Urban Arrow is rolling out an array of around 7 different cargo accessories specifically for the Breeze. This means you can mix and match padded seats, monkey bars for the little ones, massive pannier bags, and robust racks to create a customized setup that perfectly fits your family's dynamic, whether you are doing the morning school drop-off or hauling a massive laptop bag and equipment to the office. But hauling massive weight on 2 wheels requires serious consideration for stability and safety, and this is where the Breeze truly shines. One of its strongest selling points is the beautiful low-step frame design. When you have 2 fidgety kids strapped to the back and a week's worth of groceries, the absolute last thing you want to do is swing your leg high over a top tube. The low step-through makes mounting and dismounting completely effortless, allowing you to keep the bike perfectly upright and stable at all times. And speaking of stability, Urban Arrow has equipped the Breeze with an incredibly robust moped-style double-leg kickstand. If you have ever tried to load a squirming toddler onto a bike with a standard side stand, you know it is a recipe for disaster. This massive kickstand ensures the bike remains solidly planted, completely eliminating the terrifying tipping hazard when the kids are climbing aboard. Safety extends down to the details as well. To keep little toes away from spinning spokes, the rear wheel is equipped with heavy-duty side covers.
There is also a beautifully integrated, somewhat retro-styled cover protecting the belt drive, which ensures no loose clothing gets caught in the drivetrain while adding a really clean, sophisticated touch to the overall aesthetic. Moving on to the actual ride experience, Urban Arrow has not forgotten about rider comfort. The front end is suspended by a plush fork, offering at least 80 millimeters of travel, perfect for soaking up potholes, expansion joints, and the general roughness of urban streets. This is paired with chunky, high-volume Schwalbe tires wrapped around 24-inch rims.
Choosing 24-inch wheels instead of standard 26 or 29-inch options is a brilliant engineering move, as it significantly lowers the bike's center of gravity. When you are carrying top-heavy cargo, like human passengers, a lower center of gravity translates directly to better handling, easier balancing at low speeds, and a much more confidence-inspiring ride overall. Now, let us talk about what's powering this electrified family hauler, because the powertrain is the beating heart of any cargo e-bike. At the center of the Breeze, Urban Arrow has wisely partnered with the industry giant Bosch. But they didn't just grab off-the-shelf parts, they opted specifically for the Bosch Cargo Line motor. This is a critical distinction. The Cargo Line is not designed to give you a snappy race bike feel, nor is it tuned for climbing steep technical mountain trails. It is a high-torque powerhouse engineered explicitly for moving heavy loads smoothly and consistently, day in and day out. It delivers massive pulling power right from a standstill, ensuring that even when you are loaded to the absolute max of that 440-pound limit, you will effortlessly accelerate away from stoplights and tackle steep neighborhood hills without breaking a sweat. When it comes to top speed, U.S. buyers get a nice advantage over the European market. While strict regulations limit European riders to 15.5 miles per hour, or 25 kilometers per hour, the American version of the Breeze is expected to hit either 20 miles per hour or potentially even 28 miles per hour, depending on the final classification. This kind of speed is an absolute game changer when you're trying to keep up with the flow of city traffic and drastically cuts down commute times.
Range, of course, will depend on how hard you push that motor, how much weight you are hauling, and which Bosch battery pack you select. While the exact US battery configurations are still being finalized, the European models with the smallest battery pack are seeing ranges up to 43.5 miles on a single charge. If you opt for larger capacities or dual battery setups, range anxiety essentially becomes a thing of the past. Rounding out the drivetrain is a system that firmly places the Breeze in the premium category. Forget about messy, greasy chains that require constant maintenance. The Breeze utilizes a whisper-quiet, ultra-durable carbon belt drive system. This is paired with an Envilo internal gear hub in the rear. What does that mean for you? It means seamless, stepless shifting. In fact, automatic shifting is almost certainly on the menu, allowing the bike to automatically adjust the gear ratio based on your pedaling cadence and the terrain, so you can focus entirely on the road ahead and your passengers behind you. Naturally, bringing all this weight and speed to a safe halt requires serious stopping power, and fully hydraulic disc brakes come standard. And because the entire ecosystem is built around Bosch, there is even the exciting potential to explore Bosch's incredibly advanced e-bike anti-lock braking system, providing an unprecedented level of safety in wet or panic braking situations. So the ultimate question remains, what does a machine of this caliber cost? Well, the Urban Arrow Breeze is expected to hit the US market with a price tag of around $7,000. Now, I know what you are thinking. $7,000 is a massive amount of money for a bicycle. It is about half the price of a decent compact car, and more expensive than many used cars on the market. But that is exactly the point. You have to stop thinking about the Breeze as just a bicycle and start looking at it as a legitimate vehicle replacement. When you factor in the soaring costs of gasoline, car insurance, maintenance, and parking, replacing even a fraction of your weekly car trips with the Breeze starts to look like an incredibly smart financial move. It is an investment in your family's health, in spending quality time outdoors, and in significantly reducing your carbon footprint. It might just be the most practical, enjoyable, and revolutionary addition to your garage yet.
Get out to your local dealer, take the Breeze for a test spin, and see for yourself if this LongTail marvel is the perfect fit for your lifestyle. Ride safe out there, and as always, remember to wear a helmet.